Hello students of Primary 6, welcome to the first lesson in Unit 1, Meaning of Ratio. In this unit, we are going to learn about ratios. Ratio is a method to compare between two numbers or two quantities. Ratio is a method to compare between two numbers or two quantities by division. This definition is true, but it's also confusing because most of us think of comparing between two numbers, trying to decide if the number greater than or less than or equal another number. But with ratios, we are not trying to compare the numbers like that. Instead, we are trying to see how the two numbers or the two quantities are related to each other. So, ratio is a relationship between two numbers or two quantities. For example, in this picture, we have 3 dogs and 2 cats. So we can say that the ratio of dogs to cats, we have 3 dogs, so the ratio of dogs to cats, 3 to 2. Or we can write this ratio as a fraction because mathematically ratio is a fraction. So ratio of dogs to cats, 3 dogs to 2 cats, or 3 over 2. But the ratio of cats to dogs, here we have 2 cats and 3 dogs. So the ratio of cats to dogs, 2 to 3, or as a fraction, 2 over 3. So we can write the ratio in 3 different ways, as 2 to 3, or 2 over 3 as a fraction, or 2 to 3. And the numbers 2 and the 3 are called the terms of the ratio. Now to find the ratio of two numbers, the ratio of two numbers equal the first term over the second term. For example, to find the ratio of between the two numbers 5 and 3, the ratio between them is 5 over 3. Because the ratio, as we said, the ratio of two numbers is the first number over the second number. So the ratio between 5 and 3 is 5 over 3. Because 5 is the first term and the 3 is the second term. You should know some properties of ratio. As we said, ratio is a fraction. So the ratio has the same properties of fraction as reduction, simplifying, and comparison. Also, to put any ratio in its simplest form, the two terms of the ratio should be two whole numbers as small as possible. Now you should remember some of the rules of divisibility which you studied before, that any number is divisible by 2, any number is divisible by 2 if its unit digit is an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. For example, 12 is divisible by 2 because the unit digit is 2 and 2 is an even number. Also 36 is divisible by 2 because the unit digit 6, even number. Also, any number is divisible by 3 if its digits, the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. For example, 12 is divisible by 3 because the sum of its digits 1 plus 2 equal 3, and 3 is divisible by 3. Also, 51 is divisible by 3 because the sum of its digits 5 plus 1 equals 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. Also, any number is divisible by 5 if its units digit 0 or 5, like 15, 100, and so on. Now we have an example. Khalid has LE 15 and Ahmed has LE 25. Then the ratio between what Khalid has and what Ahmed has is, we said that the ratio between two numbers equal the first number over the second number. Here the ratio between Khalid, what Khalid has 15, over what Ahmed has 25. So the ratio between them 15 over 25. And we should put this ratio in its simplest form by dividing the two terms by the same number, which is the highest common factor. And the highest common factor between 15 and 5 and 25 is 5. So we will divide up and down by 5. 15 divides 5 equal 3. 25 divides 5 equal 5. So the ratio in the simplest form is 3 over 5, or we can write this as 3 to 5. Number 2, the ratio between what Ahmed has and what Khalid has. Ahmed has 25, so the ratio between them is 25 Ahmed over what Khalid has, 15. And we should put this ratio in the simplest form by dividing up and down by 5. 15 divides 5 equal 25 divides 5 equal 5. 15 divides 5 equal 3, or 5 to 3. Another example. Example number 2. When we compare between the area of the square and the area of rectangle in the figure shown them, remember that area of a square equals side length multiply itself, and the area of rectangle equal length multiply width. So the area of a square over the area of rectangle, side length multiply itself, length over length multiply width. Side length of a square equal 2 centimeter, so the area of a square is 2 multiply 2 over area of rectangle, length multiply width, 6 multiply 2. 2 multiply 2 equals 4, 6 multiply 2 equals 12. But this ratio is not in the simplest form, so we should divide up and down by the highest common factor, which is 4. 4 divided 4 equals 1. 12 divided 4 equal 3, or 1, 2, 3. Example number 3. In one of the classes of the first grade primary, the number of boys is 15 pupils and the number of girls is 20 pupils. Calculate, number 1, the ratio between number of boys and number of girls. Here the number of boys is 15, so the first term is 15. Number of girls is the second term, 20. We will simplify this ratio by dividing up and down by 5, because the highest common factor between 15 and 20 is 5. 15 divided 5 equals 3. 20 divided 5 equals 4, or 3 to 4. Number 2, find the ratio between the number of girls and the number of boys. Here the number of girls is 20, so put 20 as the first term. Number of boys is 15, put 15 as a denominator, the second term, and divide up and down by 5 to simplify this ratio. Now 20 divided 5 equals 4, 15 divided 5 equals 3, or we can write this ratio as 4 to 3. Number 3, find the ratio between the number of boys and the number of all pupils in the class. We know the number of boys is 15, but we should find the total number of pupils. So total number equal number of boys, which is 15, plus number of girls 20 equal 35 pupils. Now we can write the ratio between boys and all pupils. Boys 15 over all pupils 35. And don't forget to simplify this ratio by dividing the two terms by the highest common factor, which is 5, because the highest common factor between 15 and 35 is 5. 15 divided 5 equal 3. 35 divided 5 equal 7. Or we can write this ratio as 3 to 7. write the following ratios in its simplest form. As we said, to write the ratio in the simplest form, you should put the two terms in this, divide the two terms by the highest common factor. Okay? Here the highest common factor between 8 and 12 is 4, so we will divide the two terms by 4. Now 8 divide 4 equals 2. 12 divide 4 equals 3. 2 and 2 over 3 in the simplest form. 2 over 3 in the simplest form because there is no common factor between 2 and 3. Another example. Simplify the ratio between 25 to 45. Here the highest common factor between 25 and 45 is 5 because these two numbers are divisible by 5 because its unit digit is 5. So 25 divided 5 equals 5. 2, 45 divide 5 equal 9. And 5 to 9 in the simplest form. Number 3, simplify 48 to 18. Here we can divide, here 48 is an even number, also 18 is an even number, so we can divide them by 2. Divide the two terms by 2. 48 divide 2 equals 24, 2. 18 divide 2 equals 9. But 24 to 9 is not the simplest form of the ratio because we have common factor between 24 and 9, which is 3. So we should divide the two terms again by 3. 24 divide 3 equals 8. 2. 9 divide 3 equals 3. And 8 to 3 is the simplest form of the ratio. Simplify 2,800 to 3,500. 2,800 to 3,500. Here we have common factor between them, which is 100. So we can divide the two terms by 100. 2,800 divide 100 equals 28. 3,500 divide 100 equals 35. But we have another common factor between them, which is 7. So we can divide them by 7 to put this ratio in the simplest form. 28 divided 7 equals 4. 35 divided 7 equals 5, and 5 to 4 is the simplest form of the ratio. Now stop this video and try to answer or simplify this ratio by yourself. Then check your answer, okay? Here 15 to 24. These two numbers are divisible by 3 because the sum of the two digits here, 1 plus 5 equals 6, and 6 is divisible by 3. Also 24, 2 plus 5 equals 6, and 6 divisible by 3, so we can divide them by 3. 15 divide 3 equals 5. 24 divide 3 equals 8, and 5 to 8 is the simplest form. Okay, this is your homework. I hope you understood this lesson. Study well, and if you have any questions, you can ask your class teacher. See you next video.